Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. There is no doubt that Japanese gaming culture has made its way into the United States over many years now. People will import consoles, they'll import the games themselves, they'll even import Japanese-style arcade cabinets. Those Japanese-style cabinets are called candy cabs. They're often made of metal or plastic versus the cabinets that we're used to here in the United States made from wood. They also sit down to play these games. Now, if you just want to get an original candy cab, like a Vulix, you can go through a company like I did, Hadouken Arcade, and they'll get you an original unit. They'll show you pictures. They'll tell you exactly what's wrong with it. They clean them up really nice, various different configurations, and then they'll ship them directly to your house, door to door. So that's also an option. This is really interesting because Unico decided to come out with a product. Lately, Unico's been in the news because they made LCD replacements for CRTs. I have one. I haven't really made a video on it yet, but it's pretty interesting. You know, I'm more of a purist when it comes to arcade stuff, so I like to keep the CRTs intact and keep them repaired and up and running as long as I can. But for many arcade operators, they don't have the talented staff to do it sometimes, so they end up keeping a game running with an LCD. So they created a 26-inch replacement for what typically would be a 25-inch CRT tube. But anyways, they just released a product called the Unico Nova Blast, I think. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's on the thing back there. It literally is brand new news, so I couldn't remember. But anyways, so the Nova Blast is a Japanese-style candy cabinet that Unico is putting out in the market. They don't have pricing information for it yet, but why I think it's interesting is not because it's some emulated device, right? It's not an emulator device like an Arcade 1-Up or an AtGames Legends Ultimate. It's not that. It's actually a candy cab that does not have a PCB in it. So you can put whatever you want in it, just like a regular candy cab. That's actually what makes a candy cab really unique, is that you can change out the games quite frequently. And what maybe sparked my interest the most about this is that it supports JAMMA. So if you wanted to stick a JAMMA board inside this device, you can certainly do that. I also was pretty interested because they decided to put Sanwa Buttons and Sanwa sticks in this machine, which we don't really see these home arcade companies focusing on quality parts, which I thought was interesting. The other thing is it's got a fairly large screen. It's got a 26-inch screen, and it can actually present itself horizontally or vertically. So if you want to put it into tape mode, you can, to play shmups. Now, just to even add to this and get it even more interesting, I don't know the exact details, but the encoder inside has support for consoles. Now, where this kind of falls off the train tracks a little bit for me, and again, I don't have all the information yet, is that it's a 4x3 26-inch monitor. So if you're going to put a modern console in it, like a PS5 or even like a past generation PS4 or something like that, or an Xbox, or an Xbox Series X, those are 16:9 systems, so it would probably scale it down. I don't know how that would look exactly, but for any of the retro consoles, this would be a great product to have. And I immediately thought about how cool it would be to have a mister hooked up to something like this. If you're an arcade guy, then you are always probably trying to have some sort of test bench set up with a super gun device so you can actually run your arcade board without your arcade cabinet. Well, I was kind of thinking, well, how cool if the price is right? This thing could be something I test boards in, swap boards in and out of, and test different things, put mister in, and all sorts of cool things. So this is pretty neat because this, to me, is very different than the products that we're normally used to seeing on the home arcade market. This seems to be built at a different quality level, and also it's going to be fully metal. For the most part, I'm assuming the control panel is probably plastic, but everything else seems like it's metal on the device. It is going to have the ability to separate itself from the base unit. So the base unit is actually going to have a cabinet inside, just like a regular candy cab, where you can actually put your consoles or your PC or whatever inside that you want to run on this thing. It's also supposedly going to have a working coin door. It looks like it's going to have a single coin slot. All that stuff is pretty cool. So to me, this is very different than the typical home arcade product. I think it's probably going to come at a premium price. My guess and speculation is probably between $1,000 and $1,500. I have no knowledge of that, by the way. I'm just getting random pieces of information and putting it together for you guys. So this is what we know so far. I'm going to break it down one more time. The screen in it is a 26-inch screen, 4x3. I do not know what the resolution is going to be, although on this flyer back here, they say 1440 by 1080. I don't know if that's That looks like it's some kind of promotional material from IAAPA, the conference that just happened. It's a trade show. The trade show happens in Florida every year. It's an interesting trade show because this is really more toward family entertainment centers. They have everything. They have roller coaster rides. They have ticket redemption games, regular arcade games, pinball machines. It's basically a manufacturer's place for them to showcase all of the products they have for all these big FECs or places like Dave & Buster's and things like that to buy their products. Also mom and pops as well. I usually go to a smaller show called Amusement Expo International in Vegas every year, which is a small version of IAAPA. But anyways, I digress. So this is what we know so far. It's a candy cab design. Kinda looks like a Sega Blast City sort of kind of design. Or an Astro City. That's kind of what I feel like or a crossover of that and a Vuelix almost. And it does sit on a base, so you can have it as a base or a tabletop. And I believe you can order it that way if you want, if you don't want the base. So you can have it both ways. I'm not a huge fan of tabletop arcades. If I'm gonna do a Japanese style, I like the traditional sit down. I actually have a Vuelix. I love the thing. I have it in my arcade room. It's running the RTX multi on original hardware. It's pretty cool. But anyways, so then the monitor itself, 26 inches, it can be mounted horizontal or vertically. I don't know how you change that, but supposedly you can change it. They're going to offer two different topper versions. So the one you see kind of resembles like an Astro City cabinet. They might have a different one because I did see some preliminary pictures that actually have a light on top, which kind of looks very similar to an Astro City cabinet. So that's kind of neat. I like the idea that it has Sanwa buttons and joysticks. I don't know how you're going to gain access to the controls. It does look like one molded piece. I'm not sure if it's going to open up. Like a Vuelix would have a key underneath and you can remove the control panel to work on it. I don't know that information yet. The cabinet's going to have storage in it. It's going to have the coin door. I believe it's going to have wheels as well, just like a traditional, like a Vuelix would have. So anyways, it's cool. As soon as I get more information, I'll let you know. But I think what's interesting about it to me is there hasn't really been an exciting and an innovative product in the home arcade space since, I would say, its inception. There hasn't been really anything that cool that you could put into your game room, especially with JAMMA support. It doesn't seem like that's ever really considered. And there's a lot of arcade enthusiasts that I think might be interested in a product like this, even though it deviates from what I would consider, the purest viewpoint of things. One last thing I need to mention is availability. Right now, there is no pre-orders open for this, but I believe the pre-orders are going to start in the month of December. So as soon as I know that information, I will also provide that to you guys in the form of a video update or a community post. So be on the lookout for that. As soon as I get more information, I'll let you guys know. I've been constantly hitting up the guys at Unico, and I'm not a news guy. I don't really like rushing to, it's so stressful, man. I'm not about that. Rushing to the computer to make video. No. But I was like, this is really cool. If I didn't think it's cool, I wouldn't make a video on it. I think this is cool, but keep in mind, the caveat here is there's a lot of details I don't know. Take it at the surface level right now. The stuff I'm getting right now sounds cool. That could change, and if it does, or I find out some information I don't like, or maybe stuff I want to critique, I'll definitely maybe do a secondary video on it as we get more details. But guys, I'll have all the information that I possibly can come up with in the links in the description of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, and we will see you on the next one.